Dear Teresa, as you can see, I'm in a dungeon, which is quite fitting given the life sentence you've just handed down to the British people. I have a question for you anyway. I'm just an ordinary member of the public, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm struggling a little with this. What I can't get my head around is, in a democracy, how can the views of one person count for more than the votes of 17.4 million people? That's not democracy. That's dictatorship, isn't it? Am I missing something here, or didn't we actually vote for a clean break from the EU? Not half in and half out, as Cameron put it. He said we believe in the European Union full stop. No ifs, no buts, no backstops to backstops, or transition periods that go on forever. I didn't see anything on the ballot paper about a Brexit for the economy, or Brexit for business, or people voting to be richer or poorer. It was a simple vote to stay or to leave. Lock, stock and barrel. No ties, no strings attached. Your agreement has more strings than a spaghetti convention. It's not an agreement. Certainly not Brexit. It's a spider's web, a trap designed to ensnare us into the EU forever. How stupid do you think we are? We've all read the small print now. Everybody knows in their hearts this isn't Brexit. It's not taking back control. It's enslaving us to the EU for 100 years with no way out. It's a betrayal of everything we voted for in the biggest democratic exercise in this country's history. In case you'd forgotten, it's also a betrayal of your own manifesto pledge to honour Brexit. Your Mansion House speech, your every red line, the endless promises you made on the record to take us completely out of the customs union, the single market, and free us from interference of the EU in our affairs. This deal throws away our ability to unilaterally make our own trade policies with the rest of the world as an independent nation. One of the great dividends of leaving. It's a betrayal of our fishermen, the people of Northern Ireland, the people of Gibraltar, the very integrity of the United Kingdom and the principle of democracy itself. You talk about crashing out with no deal as if it were bad. But anybody who knows the facts knows that trading freely on WTO terms would be brilliant compared to the can of worms you're selling us. For 2 years you've been telling us no deal is better than a bad deal. And now you've delivered a bad deal, you're saying it's better than no deal. How does that work, Teresa? Or was that all part of the charade all along? I mean, how bad does a deal have to get? How about the worst deal in history? A deal so catastrophically inept, it leaves us 10 times worse off than when we were actually in the EU. That bad. Or as someone else recently put it, we would be voluntarily putting ourselves under the control of people whose interest it is to make sure that we are not seen to prosper after Brexit. It is so stupid, it is almost unbelievable. Hard to disagree with a word of that. Not even our worst enemy could have dreamed this up. It took our own quisling of a Prime Minister. You have lied to the British people for 2.5 years, and now you have stabbed us in the back. You've spent the whole time plotting to sell your country off as an EU colony for a few pieces of silver. Behind the backs of the British people, behind the backs of your own cabinet, your own Brexit secretaries, for God's sake. No wonder so many resigned. And here you are, cheerfully popping up in every TV studio and radio station, waving your bit of paper, Brexit in our time. What kind of Alice in Wonderland world do you think we live in? I see you have a new catchphrase too. Let's get on with it. Ha, nice try. You're quite good at catchphrases, aren't you? Strong and stable. Brexit means Brexit. No deal is better than a bad deal. They might actually be good if they didn't all turn out to be complete lies. I got your Dear John letter the other day, Teresa, by email. It was full of so many lies, half-truths and omissions, it almost made me physically sick. Frankly, I think you're a disgrace of a Prime Minister. You make me ashamed of ever voting Conservative. the way you have debased our country in the eyes of the world and made us into a laughingstock. In fact, I struggle to find words to describe the contempt I have for you and what you have done. And 17.4 million people feel exactly the same. You can take that one to the bank. And now here you are, like some second-hand car salesman, trying to flog the British people your pile of crap as though it were a bargain. When everybody knows the minute we drive it out the showroom, the wheels will fall off and we'll be stuck on the road to nowhere, having handed over billions for nothing. You really must take the British people for complete fools. Well, you've played us for fools long enough. We know this isn't Brexit. It's not even soft Brexit. It's Remain by stealth from a Remain Prime Minister who never had any intention of leaving. We worked out a long time ago that you're a compulsive liar, Mrs May. The days of us being docile serfs to be manipulated by your spin and propaganda are over. We've seen through your little game. And know this, we will have our Brexit. We might not get it this year or next, and we know it'll never happen until we see the back of you. But don't worry, you are not forever. The British people are. We can wait. We can bide our time. If you think by sleight of hand you can keep us ensnared in the EU's web, then feed us back into its jaws in a few years' time, you don't know the first thing about the British people. We have a long history of standing up to petty tyrants and dictators. No politician should be allowed to overturn the democratic vote of the people, not even you, Mrs May. Either you respect the referendum result or you betray it and turn this country into a tin pot dictatorship. If you break your sacred contract with the people, there will be no second chance, no turning back. You will have crossed a Rubicon which will poison politics in this country forever and send you and your party to oblivion. This isn't some little policy matter that will all blow over in a month or two. It's a matter of almost existential importance for us, the people. If you think that we will stomach this betrayal and carry on as if nothing had happened, you seriously misjudge the mood of the nation, and you are in for a big shock at the next election. The voters you borrowed from Labour and UKIP on the strength of the lies in your manifesto will go back home, and whole swathes of grassroots and small C Conservatives will leave your party in droves, never to return. You will take yourself and your party over a cliff edge from which there will be no coming back. Yes, it really is that big. As Oliver Cromwell might have put it, it is high time for me to put an end to your sitting in this place, which you have dishonoured by your contempt of all virtue. You are a pack of mercenary wretches who, like Judas, betray your God for a few pieces of money. You have no more virtue than my horse. Gold is your God. You have turned this sacred place into a den of thieves by your immoral principles. You who are now odious to the whole nation, go, get you out, and take your lousy agreement with you. In the name of God, go.